Would you run from me? If I go, would you be happy in the end? So was it all for nothing? Was it all for nothing? Those memories, was it all for nothing? Was it all for nothing? So was it all for nothing? If I stay, would you run from me? If I go, would you be happy in the end? So was it all for nothing? Was it all for nothing? Those memories, was it all for nothing? Was it all for nothing? So was it all for nothing? So was it all for nothing?
Reggie here, your friendly neighborhood bodybuilder and comic book collector and the host of the Go Collect speculation video. In this episode, we are going to spend some time talking about 6 blog posts that have been sent in to Go Collect. This first blogger does something that I think is really cool. This second blog post is actually near and dear to my heart. So this next blog post is right up my alley. I want to play a game. The MCU has done some pretty interesting things, right? The folks over at Go Collect, it was all about more than meeting the eye. You could potentially get ahead of the curve, and we all know that Marvel is going to do something with Daredevil. While we are on this topic of Spider-Man, we have to acknowledge the elephant that is in the room, and the elephant is Miles Morales, a 3.5 sold. So there you have it. We have reached the end of another Go Collect weekly recap. I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and we'll tune in next week.
Hey everyone, welcome to another one of the Wizard World virtual experiences. My name is Seth Everett. So glad you're with us here, whether you're on Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, and yes, I said Twitch first on purpose, so I'm giving you the special shout out. We are streaming to you live, bringing you the Comic-Con life to the comfort of your home with these free celebrity panels. In addition, we have paid exclusive experiences, including one-on-one private video chats, custom recorded messages, and autographs. They're always on sale at wizardvirtual.com, and they'll continue to be so throughout the weekend. So even if you're watching a replay, if you're not watching this live, definitely check out these once-in-a-lifetime experiences with your favorite cast members. And, I mean, we have the cast of Arrow here. Arrow! I can't get over this. Don't forget to also check out signed memorabilia, work of art from our favorite artists and vendors from previous virtual experiences and physical conventions. We remember those at wizardworldvault.com. And don't forget, Go Collect is your #1 source for collectibles. They track the sales of graded comics. Their goal is very simple, to make collecting better. So be sure to check them out at gocollect.com. All right, enough of this. Enough of the fluff. We need to get to the cast of Arrow, and let's start it off with a lovely lady who was none other. Well, let's face it, she was Black Siren. She was also Black Canary, but she was Laurel Lance. Ladies and gentlemen, Katie Cassidy.
What's up?
How are you?
Hi, how's it going?
It's good to see you again. You and I have done regular cons. I wonder if the energy from the room can be translated to the virtual screen.
I mean, that's what I just sort of felt like as I was like imagining I was, running out on stage, being like, "Hi, what's up, you guys?" Oh, well, that's Carlos's tail. Apologize for that. This is interesting, I think it's actually really great though to be able to, during this time in the crazy world, to be able to, connect with fans and talk to you guys.
And take a couple of minutes and just talk about a show that everybody has such a passion for. No secret of that. All right, let's get someone else is called Black Canary. And if you didn't see Arrow, you're like 8 seasons behind, because there's a whole storyline behind the whole thing. She was Dinah Drake. She is the great Juliana Harkavy. Juliana, welcome.
What's up, everybody? Hi, Katie.
And how are you? How has quarantine been treating you? I can't believe this. In my notes, I had 3 months. Then I crossed it out. It's 4 months. Now we're on 5 months. How have the 5 months been?
Well, I'm very, very blessed to say that nobody in my family has been directly impacted in terms of their health. So I've actually been enjoying it. It's given me a chance to just kind of go inward and garden and be quiet and enjoy time at home. So I really liked it. And I enjoy doing things like this as well. It's kind of innovative and cool and neat to do cons online.
Yeah, very forward thinking, no question about it. All right, let's bring in some others, and including, all right, now, if you didn't know, again, if spoilers, because let's say you have a lot to catch up on if you didn't know, but Felicity and Oliver had a kid, and then we saw the kid all grown up, and William is here. Ben Lewis, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi, guys. Hi,
Oh,
guys.
handsome.
How are you?
Handsome.
Good to see you guys. I haven't seen you in ages.
I miss you.
I miss you too.
And your last time on screen together, I think, was all together, correct?
Yeah.
So long ago.
No, I know. That's
Too long
true.
ago.
What was that again? Yes.
Yeah. No, that's true. My last episode was I wasn't in the finale, so that my last episode was the backdoor pilot. That's true.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's not going to come up during the chat. I'm sure that
I'm
question
sure no
won't
one
get
has
asked.
questions about
Oh.
that. I don't.
That's just get it out of the way early.
Yeah.
All right. Let's welcome in the daughter of Raish Al Ghul, the great Nissa Al Ghul, Katrina Law.
Yay!
It was a really weird looking hi. It's like just forearms and hands.
As long
This
as
is
it wasn't
what
a
I would
really
want to
weird
say.
looking intro, I'm covered. We're good.
Way to be smooth.
Tell us about your quarantine situation. Have you been okay?
I've personally been fine. My family has been really great. It's definitely been a good time to just kind of chill and reflect and kind of do some self-work. That being said, I have had several friends who have been severely ill,
Ooh.
hospitalized. I have a couple in the hospital right now. So please wear a mask. This is no joke. People are sick. And then even when they get better, it's still like one of them, actually two of them, when it first started, came back from Europe and they got sick from the flight and they were in quarantine in late March, and to this day they're still not feeling well. So technically they're better, but they're not feeling well. So please wear a mask. This is serious. Stay healthy if you are healthy. Enjoy it because it's a blessing. So my quarantine has been good. Theirs not so much.
Yeah, and we're we have viewers all over the world, and every person has their own story like that. Because even all the people in America, if you're in one part of America, you're in a hotspot. If you're not, you're in a place that's not, it's not that much. So everybody has a different situation. There's no question about it. Is it too early to make a COVID joke though? Can we do like lighthearted COVID jokes? Because I wonder if COVID went all the way to Leon Yu. Who can we ask? Let's ask Kelly Who.
Oh,
wait.
Too soon? Too soon?
We know
Do
you're
the awesome intro.
I'm tapping. Hold on.
Kelly.
Why is it not
By the way,
working?
Kelly and I were in acting class together 100 years
There
ago.
we go.
Really?
She does-
Kelly has a TP.
Yay!
Hi.
Kelly.
Welcome. I just heard
Yay.
a big rumor. You were in acting class with Katie Cassidy. What was that like?
Did you know?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, do you know that?
No, you just said
was-
it though, but I was listening.
I'm a diehard fan of hers. She just doesn't maybe know that.
You are too sweet. She's just saying that right now. She's just so
That's
sweet.
cool. She knows about it. Told her.
Too bad I only do good work in acting class and not on
I
film.
And that voice, that's such a distinct voice. I remember hearing it like it was early on after we shot the pilot. I forget what episode, but I heard your voice in the trailer and I was like, I remember this.
Oh, you must have heard my laugh. I have a very powerful, I have a canary laugh. I can blow people's heads off with my laugh. That's how loud I am.
Hi. Sorry.
And I have to imagine that when you came onto the scene later in the series and you met all these people who had known each other for so many years, that must have been an interesting experience trying to kind of merge in with these, because they all seemed like they're thick as thieves.
Yeah. I mean, I was lucky because the first person I ever worked with on the show was Colton, who I actually knew socially like a tiny bit. So he was really helpful in sort of like, bringing me into the fold and I think making me feel comfortable. And then practically, I think in my second or third episode, I got to work with Juliana, who was just like the warmest, sweetest person. And Katie, I feel like we didn't work together until a little bit later on, but she's just the best. I mean, I feel like we really started working together like after you even directed that episode.
Yeah.
right? Because that was before we went back in time, and that's when we had most of our stuff.
Right. I think that the directing was the most the most we had worked together was when
Yeah.
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 Brilliant, by the way, and all of you. Didn't direct you. Hopefully one day I will get to. But
That was one of my favorite episodes for sure. But anyway, it's a very warm group. And then Katrina, I only met really on another virtual panel that we did earlier in quarantine. And then Kelly and I have never met, right? Kelly, right?
No, we haven't.
Yeah. So it's nice to meet you now.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
So
Felicity's son.
Sorry. Well, yes, I have to correct you.
Sometimes, and you're like, oh wait, oh yeah, but your didn't interact, and they're like, oh yeah, I was on your show.
I have to correct you though, Seth, because William is not technically Oliver and Felicity's son. He is Oliver. No.
Oliver's son. Oh, that's right. Oliver's son from the other lady. You're right. You're right. Catherine McNamara's daughter is.
Thank you.
That's correct.
And
that is correct. I just want to say that now, because lest the fans think I don't know.
Juliana and I, because she and I went head to head. What was it, TV Guide? When they asked us all these questions, Jules?
Oh yeah, we didn't know a single answer.
Yes, thank you for pointing that out.
Katie knew more than me, to be fair.
It's a lot of story to keep straight for 8 years.
It is.
There's a lot of facts, a lot of,
And then I feel like when you come on the show as a newbie, people expect you to know the answer to every question, and you're like, I've never even heard of that character. So you just make.
I know, and all my new cast members who I joined with made me look really bad, because Kat McNamara watched every episode.
Oh, Kat, yeah.
Watched every episode.
She would watch every episode.
I did
Would you
not.
say, Kat?
She would watch every episode. She is a go-getter.
Yeah, she's like that's true. That made me realize that maybe I was just unprepared and irresponsible.
Like, I'm a terrible human being.
I'm with you, Juliana.
That's so funny.
I don't
As
even
long as
watch
you have
myself.
mostly underachievers, you're fine.
That's so funny. Katie, in the very beginning of the show, people knew the Green Arrow comic book, and they knew Black Canary, and they knew Dinah Drake, but you were Laurel, and you had to establish your own person there. How much did you know about the legacy of the character and just the idea that this was from a mythos that had been around for a long time versus really just blazing your own path?
Well, I definitely was very well, made sure I was well prepared in terms of knowing the comic book, because, as we know, comic book fans are the best fans in the world, and they are extremely loyal. But that's also why it's so important. It was so important to me that I knew, as much as I possibly could about the comic book, and being true to the origin of that story, given, the scripts and the story that the writers were, where they were headed. It was a fine balance to really give it to the comic book and play that level, but then also, balancing the two between, they didn't always stick to the comic book story in our show, but that's just
right.
Television, and so it was definitely a fine balance, but I made sure I was well schooled, especially when my character went through everything, her journey. I took on sort of what my character was doing in terms of when I transformed, after Laurel hit rock bottom, and then coming back up and learning to what it is like to be a hero, and training and doing all that. So I tried to live as much of it as I possibly could, but definitely learned along the way as the character learned. I did not want to jump ahead, because I feel like that would always confuse me. I tried to stay sort of like what I felt like the character would know. That's what I would know. But
and then,
with, a little salt and pepper of the comic.
But then, Juliana, when you came in and you figure out that you're going to be Black Canary, and Katie had just done a whole run as Black Canary, and just taking over that and knowing that no matter what you were going to do, you were going to be compared, favorably, unfavorably, whatever it was, everyone was going to have an opinion on your role just at the same time, just for being there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was scared poopless. I was like, what? I didn't
Hold
know.
on, they're transcribing it in the studio. They just
POOPLESS.
Got it.
It was a big, I didn't know that I was going to play Black Canary until I basically like got to Canada. They kept it a secret, and then I did a lot of homework and I saw Katie's work, which I loved. And as soon as I started not as soon as I started watching you, Katie, but like as soon as I realized that it was a character who already existed, I got anxious. So I very quickly dropped the need or the idea that it needed to be anything like Katie's character, which ended up working for both of us so beautifully in the future when she comes back, and we were able to have these two dynamics like that were going. So we were similar but different, and yeah, it was a lot of pressure, but it was an honor. I mean, I wish that, Katie had been there from day one that I was there, but you came like, it was only maybe like 10 episodes that I did without Katie. So it ended up working out really well.
And by the way, like that's why it worked and why it's so cool. Cause it's so smart. That's so smart to like bring your own, you don't ever want to obviously mimic anybody's work, but to sort of make it your own, which is why everybody I think took well to it and liked it. Cause like, you're super professional and you were super, you had your own vision and own take on it, which was really cool to watch. And it was really, you're awesome.
Yeah, I fangirl over Katie still.
All right.
Nice.
I just want to throw in there that
so do a lot of people in the chat, surprisingly.
I want to throw in there that it's not as rare as you would think, but it is an unusual circumstance to have a cast with so many women in it who play strong, dynamic female characters and get along offset. Like it is one of the most beautiful sets that I've ever been on. The cast gets along so well. They're so supportive. Whenever I was there, I never witnessed any animosity between women taking over other women's roles or like the perceived whatever. It was just something but supportive. Okay, you do this, you do that. I'm going to do this, and we're going to support each other. And I think it's just a testament to how wonderful our female cast is. Our male cast is great. Ben, you're wonderful. But, but
he's like, I'm still in the room.
But there really is something truly special about the women in the Arrowverse. Kelly is kind of terrible, but whatever.
What can I say?
I know. I was in acting class with her. Are you kidding? In acting class, I was like, this girl is a genius.
Aww.
I was hard to watch.
And I feel like we feel like this about each other. We all play a role and we're a team, doing something, and you got to take one for the team. And we've all sort of, it's exactly what you just said. Supporting each other. It's cool that Juliana, it's like a different, you sort of just have to like go with it and support the story.
Yeah.
Well, it's such a saga. And Katrina, just to play off what you were saying, you come in and it's the same thing with Legacy. I mean, people in the superhero world knew about Talia. They didn't know Nyssa. So you have a chance to carve your own niche in a character that now is become a huge part of the legacy of this show because of the key parts of Oliver's journey, but also your journey in this whole run that they had. And coming back at the end was brilliant in the final season.
I was so happy to be coming back for the finale. I didn't think it was going to be able to happen because I was working on Hawaii 5-0 and the schedules were just gnarly, and trying to get from Hawaii to Vancouver was a logistical nightmare. But it just felt so good to be there. And to be honest, I think with Nyssa, I didn't have the pressure that Katie and Juliana had. Like I actually got off scot-free because nobody heard of Nyssa. Anybody who said they heard of Nyssa were just lying. So we basically got to do whatever we wanted. And, Denny O'Neil created such a great character with Ra's al Ghul and everything. And, unfortunately, he just passed away recently, as all the fandom knows. But the world that he created and getting to play into that world, and with Greg Rucka and everybody who created Nyssa, they didn't mind that the Arrow writers took freedom with taking her in a different direction than the comics that she was in. And then they didn't mind that we gave her a British accent and that we altered her sexuality from what she was in the original comic books. And everybody just was like, cool, yeah, do what you want. It seems cool. We love it. So there wasn't a Bible that I needed to follow that they needed to follow for Black Canary. So, you know, any kind of feedback was usually just like, oh, I love what you're doing with the character because I've never heard of her before. So my job was a lot less stressful.
I'm getting overwhelmed with questions. So let's get to the hard journalism questions first, and we'll get those out of the way. The first one is for Katrina. The only question I need answered in this panel is, what is the unicorn next to Katrina Law called?
Oh, we actually have it named.
Carla.
Her, him, it. I don't know what its pronoun is. So I haven't decided anything because this is actually my daughter, so she hasn't told me yet, but I'm sure one day she will. I don't know. Maybe somebody else can name her.
Wait, how old is she now?
She's just a year and a half.
Oh my God, already?
Dude, she just learned how she can open cabinets. She can like do like the sliding doors. She can now like go into the fridge and get her own ice cubes. It's a lot.
Oh my God.
Is she speaking full sentences? Can she name this unicorn?
No, not really. I mean, she's
or the end of the panel. Can she name this unicorn?
Yeah, she's like speaking 2 languages because her main language is Mandarin, but then she's also kind of speaking English. So I think there's a little bit of hesitancy for her to speak because I think she's kind of going, which language do I speak in? But her vocabulary is quite large, but it's not in the sentence form yet.
Oh. So wait, why Mandarin?
It's because what I speak.
Oh. Wait, why did I not know that?
I know, how did I not?
You have been my nemesis.
If you want, we can mute our microphones.
You are like the other agent, and I only worked whenever you weren't working.
Shut up! That is so not true.
It is true. I had to wait until you were hired on something until they were like, all right, fine, we'll cast Katrina instead.
You're like 15 years younger than me, or more even. You're not even.
You're Asian. You don't crack.
You really don't.
No raisin.
People still think you're 12. It's fine.
Only my maturity level.
Someone on Twitch clip that. Just clip that, please. All right. I don't know how I'm going to top this. I have lots of questions. Some are for the whole group and some are for specific people. And I'm just going to sift through them. Josh writes and says, what's next for Katie? And then there's the question that we have been asked, I think 3,000 times. What can any of you tell us about the spinoff?
Here's what can you tell us about the spinoff?
All I know is I did a podcast with Catherine McNamara and she said, ask you guys.
Yeah.
Oh.
We don't know.
We don't know. I think everything is just on hold right now. Like we're waiting and we're seeing how things evolve and change and yeah.
See what happens. I'm actually writing a pilot right now, which I can't really get into details about it yet.
It's a good thing you told us then.
What I was doing, I'm just letting you know. It's based off a book, and I will let you guys know at some point.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a what?
It's based off a book. I can't say no.
I'm excited.
There was something else after that.
Uh-huh.
No, it's based off a book, and I'll let you guys know when I'm legally.
This is going to be on social
Can
media.
you tell
in
us
seconds.
the genre?
It's like it's action, drama, thriller.
Wow.
That's just about everything but horror. Horror and comedy. Okay, sorry.
That's awesome.
Just say the word. I'll read more. Liz writes, Kelly, my daughters love Tangled the series, and Adira is one of their favorite characters. Would you ever consider playing Adira in a live action Tangled? That would be amazing special
That
effects.
would be super fun. I mean, Adira's such a fun character to play. She's like, super rough and tomboyish and yeah, she's a warrior. She's a warrior. So yeah, that's right down my alley. I love, although I'm getting a little too old for that now. I have to rely on my stunt people.
No, but last 5 minutes ago, I heard something that says you don't do something. So that's all I can say.
I don't do what? What?
Something about cracking. That's all I can say.
Oh.
I'm like tiptoeing. Question for Ben. Were you sad when you learned that Kat was going to be in the crossover and get to see Oliver's death and William wasn't?
Yeah, I guess I was because it just meant that I was sort of like my time on the show I was done sooner, although in theory, but then the scene towards the end of the backdoor pilot where I am kidnapped for like the 50th time and Kat is knocked out with the dart, that actually we shot after the finale had been shot because they didn't yet have the monument of Stephen built. So we had to, like, that was, I think, maybe the second last scene of the entire series that was filmed. So I ended up sort of sticking around to the end anyway. But yeah, I guess so. I mean, the way that sort of I was okay with it because of the way that it worked out with the cliffhanger of the crossover. I was like, with this cliffhanger, I'm like, if this spinoff happens, there's no way they can't bring me back. So I was happy with that.
Point.
Yeah.
Just a second, and I'll speak for all the fans. That crossover was something else. I mean, you guys had done crossovers before, but that one was wild.
Wait a second. I just realized you're talking about the crossover and not the finale, which I was also not in. I'm so sorry. I was speaking about the finale that I wasn't in, not the crossover, which I was also not in. Never mind. Forget it.
Okay. This is Just Kim. I think it's Just Kim. I only watched Arrow during quarantine, and it helped me through the first few months. Was glad there were so many episodes, but sad I only got into it so late. That's the beauty of these streaming services. People are finding shows that they'd never seen when it was in first run, and I would imagine Arrow's shelf life is keep going. You must have people tweeting at you guys saying they just saw you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool. It kind of, I feel like it's timeless because there were so many episodes and it was on for so many years and now it's on streaming. So you could have started at the beginning, or if you're starting now, I would say that's actually a good thing because you get the advantage of having it new. Whereas, many people who started from the beginning feel like they're losing something at the moment, or when we wrapped. So no, it's awesome. It's cool to start at any time.
Yeah, and especially a show like this with what I really always loved about this show is like I felt like it brought families together in front of in front of a TV, but at least when we first the pilot came out season 1, I felt like there wasn't a lot of connection with families, and I felt like it brought people back together, and that's sort of with what's going on in this time right now, in this really difficult time. I think it's a cool story to watch and follow, and when you are with your loved ones, because there's a lot of not only there's this heightened action Oliver Queen mythology story, but then there's also family story and grounding, and there's a lot of heart to the show, so I think it's a good watch during this time.
Yeah,
I just think it's cool that they still call it the Arrowverse. Like even next year, like if they do anything involving those shows, all those shows are going to say they take place in the Arrowverse. Like
so cool.
It'll go on. I mean, look, these shows are super successful. It's going to go on for a really long time.
I think one of the coolest things about the Arrowverse, and specifically Arrow, it created this worldwide family, like Katie was saying. So not only did it bring families together, because when we would do conventions, families would say, oh, we watch it together, or, you know, I wait till, you know, blah, 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 and then we DVR it together. But through the conventions that we've done together as a cast for so many years, like we've literally held the children, the babies of the people who are watching us, and we've watched their kids grow with them. And when they come and they see us at conventions year after year, you're kind of like, oh, wait, what are you doing in school this year? What sports are you playing? Or like, look, this is my second or third child now. And it's just a really cool fan base to be a part of. And it's so loving and so supportive. And literally you just see the same people all around the world over and over again. And then watching them interact online, it's just a really cool universe to be a part of.
It's amazing. Jeannie writes and says, Arrow was such an emotionally charged series with very complex characters. What did you personally take away from your experience on Arrow? I guess we can go around the room. That was a great answers. Let's go to the next question.
I have to say that I think when I first got cast on the show, I was a little bit intimidated. I think I felt like it wasn't necessarily a genre that I necessarily fit in, or the way that I see myself. And so I think what was really great is how I was able to bring so much of myself to the character of William and still have it be embraced, you know? And I think show to the fan base, I've said this before, but show to the fan base and also show to myself, I guess, that there are different ways to be heroic. You know what I mean? You don't necessarily have to be the most coordinated, in my case, or like physically dominating, or, you know, there's a lot of different ways to contribute to making the world a better place. And I think that Felicity, the character Felicity, was a really great model of that. And I think I was really lucky to sort of take up that mantle as well.
And Katie, you saw Felicity's evolution, because when she was first cast on the show, she wasn't supposed to be more than a bit part. And by the time Katrina or Juliana got to the show, and definitely for Ben, you know, she was a mainstay, and she was a focal point of the storyline.
You know what? It's interesting, but it's so smart. Again, I think it's really smart. I remember her coming on as, I don't know, it might have been a guest star or co-star. I don't remember, but she was only supposed to be there for one episode, and that character, but she brought such a life and lightness and presence that our show needed. We needed that, like some sort of, you know, lightness.
Brevity, yeah.
There was a lot of heaviness going on, and drama, and it was just like refreshing. And I remember when she came, like she made Steven smile, and you didn't ever see Steven smile or Oliver smiles. Nice chair. And it was so cool to see her come on and take on this like thing. And it was just like really, I don't know, she's such an incredible actor. And to see a young girl evolve into this like woman who became the female lead of our show was so awesome to watch. Like it's that, wow. And that's what's cool about, again, going back to what, you know, what Katrina was saying earlier, and the women on our show and in this Arrowverse, you know, we're so fortunate because they've cast really incredible actors, but also individuals, not just women. The men are incredible actors and individuals as well. Really got, I don't know if that answers. Thank you for letting me share.
It's a great grin. I hope the screen just focused on your grin when he said that. Nancy says, question for Laurel. Which one was that? Katie. Laurel, our Laurel or Earth 2 Laurel, which is more fun to play?
Oh, Earth 2 Laurel. Fun. It's always fun to play. Well, bad guy who sort of is learning what it's like to be a hero. But they both, I mean, I'm just very fortunate to have had such a playground and different. arcs and levels to play with. So
We have people watching us from Illinois, New York City, California, Wisconsin, Australia, England, and Colombia.
Awesome. Very cool.
That's wild. That's wild. Trevor writes, question for all. Who is your favorite DC character and why? And he doesn't say, but can you say yourself? I don't know. Is that allowed?
Sure.
character.
Anybody have a favorite DC character? Ben, help me out here.
Batman.
Oh,
Batman.
There you go,
I just said
Batman.
it's not my genre. But these.
I'm a Wolverine fan. I like the claws.
There you go.
It's more for the aesthetics.
Yeah, speaking of aesthetics, so Batman's DC, right?
Yes, Batman's DC.
Okay,
Wolverine's
so I'm gonna go
Marvel,
with,
but that's okay.
I'm gonna go with Catwoman. I'm gonna go with Catwoman.
Nice.
Thank you.
Ooh.
Katie.
I like Catwoman. She was hot.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Zoe Kravitz play Catwoman.
Yes.
Ooh, yes.
Pfeiffer was dope.
Yeah, Michelle Pfeiffer. I mean,
Yeah.
unreal. Even Anne Hathaway was great too, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Who else?
And
Like
someone in the chat's gonna say Halle Berry. Just
Halle
has to-
Berry was.
Oh, Halle. It wasn't her fault. It wasn't her fault.
No. It wasn't her fault. It was somebody's fault, but not hers.
In a better movie, she would have been great.
Oh, Alicia Silverstone.
Batgirl.
Oh, I
No,
forgot.
Batwoman.
She was
She was Batwoman, not
Batgirl.
Catwoman.
Yeah.
Batgirl, right?
Oh,
That's
Batgirl.
right.
Batgirl. That's
Batgirl.
right.
She was awesome.
I thought it was a compliment, and I'm not asking, we're not going to talk about the Batwoman show, but when Ruby Rose said that she left the Batwoman show, social media went bananas, and Arrow and the Canaries was trending on Twitter. And it was not an Arrow story. It was a Batwoman story, but it just goes to show you, like, social media is the reason Zack Snyder is going to make the Justice League movie again.
Yeah.
They're going to push for that thing, and you're going to get this huge fan base, because I'm telling you, we've done 75 of these panels, and we've gotten so many questions from you guys just because of the connection to Arrow, and it's just the fan fervor is just fantastic. That was a lot of F's.
I
Yeah.
love that. We have the best fans in the world.
Yeah. It's cool being all connected.
Gayatri, I hope I'm saying your name correctly. For everyone, if you guys could have added a character from the DC Arrowverse in your show, who would you want to add?
Batman.
We talked about adding Batman a bunch. We wanted it, especially Steven, we wanted Bruce
did
Wayne in
we.
the show so badly. Yeah. That would have been amazing. Or the Joker.
Nobody likes Robin.
Yeah, that's a
Nobody
good
likes
question.
Robin.
I mean, we like him.
He's all right.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with him.
Here's Alfred.
I would love to have Alfred in our show.
Listening to me.
Yeah.
We also talked about having the Joker. It might have even
Ooh.
been written into a script at one point.
Female
That's
version.
wild.
What'd you say, Katie?
As a female version.
As a female version would be freaking amazing.
Oh, that's cool.
I think they should
That's
do
a great
Joker
idea.
movie with a female.
I would probably make crazy.
You would make an amazing Joker. Wow. That's actually really, I love that idea.
I'll be.
Is that your
I'll-
script?
I'll be-
Is that what you're working on, Katie?
We
I
found
would
it
buy
out.
tickets.
Either a mixture between Beetlejuice and the Joker.
Yes.
Ooh.
Stacy writes and says, my 9-year-old daughter would get upset if I watched episodes ahead of her. She actually wants me to ask right now, if you got to play a different character, which one would it be? Katrina?
I
Don't say
would love-
Batman.
I would love to play. I would love to have Katie Cassidy's arc. Actually, I
Yeah.
think Like
Right?
I think you got to go on such an epic journey with your character from where you started, all the dips and valleys, and then where you ended up. And you want to talk about just having like your hand in every pot and being able to do everything. Like that's a character that you don't get tired of or get bored of watching or playing, because there's just so many facets of the personality coming out, and it's just so much fun because script to script, you never know what you're going to get. And
Yeah.
that's a fun character. So I would personally have loved to have played Kate.
And really, you get to be two people. You get to play two
Or
characters.
18 people.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. The writers, I mean, they wrote very well for me. I was never bored. You know, it was definitely needed a few shrinks.
Juliana, what about you?
That's a really tough question. I would have liked to play Diggle. I think that could
Nice.
be.
Ah,
I like his vibe. Like I like his arc. I like at the end the little the Green Lantern reference. You know, and I just like, I don't know. He always sort of plays this grounding presence. He starts off as a driver, right?
Mhm.
And then he turns into this like incredible hero, and he just, I don't know. I love his vibe. I love his character. I like how he's written. I think he's a very noble character, and I like how he ends at the end.
The two Diggle moments that you think of is one when the Flash takes him for a ride the first time and he wants to throw up.
He pukes.
That's hysterical. And when John Wesley Shipp says, John, I don't recognize you without your ring. And the fans went bananas.
Oh,
The fans went bananas. That was crazy. All right. Frank writes and says, question for all. What are you all doing during the pandemic? Katie's writing a pilot. What about you all?
I'm writing a lot also, which I've always done. I have 2 movies that I've written that are like in different stages of development, and I'm also tie-dyeing a lot, which is this is my oh shit.
Wait, what?
I got overly excited about my side.
It's so good.
It's a beautiful color.
Thank you very much. My sister kind of has like I'm up at the cottage with my family right now. My sister has is starting a little amateur business, so she's beading a lot. So she made me this bracelet with my dog's name on it, and yeah, she's letting me tie dye as well. So that's what I'm up to.
That shirt is beautiful.
Thanks, Jules.
Don't you think Ben should make you all stuff?
Yeah.
I would happily.
There you go.
Yes.
I want a V-neck, please.
Okay.
V-neck size small.
Got
We'll take 4.
Katie's cat is
Oh,
the
that what that
absolute
was?
MVP of this panel.
Ben, you should hook up with Kelly, because the t-shirt that she's wearing right now it's for charity, right?
It's from my line. It's from
Yes.
my line. Thank you so much.
You guys-
Yes, I'm doing these shirts. I literally, you guys, I just finished yesterday the shop on and so I could launch it today. Hello.
Congratulations.
And everyone can get a 15% discount with the WizardCon 15 discount, and the store is called 33 Edge. So 33 Edge. I've literally had this name for I think almost 20 years, and been trying to launch some kind of clothing line. And this quarantine time has been perfect time because it's the only time that I've had time to do it. And so I literally finished the store last night, so I could have it today. So yes, speaking of shirts, thank you, Katrina.
Yay.
I sent her an email asking her like what she thought of it. I sent all you guys one too.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, it's all about like
you should hire Ben to make
unity,
tie-dye
and-
things.
Sorry?
You should get Ben to do tie-dye things.
I'm a veil.
Tie-dye things. Yes, sure.
I'm Tech a veil. Yeah.
Community store. It'll be the Arrow community store.
What is 33 Edge? What is the significance of the name?
So 33, it was originally going to be like a workout or yoga line. And 33 has so many, the number is such a powerful number in numerology. It shows up in the Bible, every religion. And the reason why I sort of attached myself to it was because there's this island north of the Hawaiian chain of the main islands. It's one of these islands where only Hawaiians could row out to. Nobody actually could live there. It's not inhabitable, but they used to row out to it for their ceremonies and do like religious ceremonies and things like that. And there's 33 ki'i or tiki gods like around the island. And then there's like this hole that at the certain time of the day that you look into, the Hawaiian symbol for 33 appears. So it spoke to me so in such a way. I was like, 33, that's such a powerful number. And then I was told in numerology that, like, 33 is my number, my number's 3 and super powerful if you make it 33. So yeah, so there were just so many things, and I just like the sound of it. Just sounds like a powerful number.
Cool.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Can I just
Thank
add,
you so much.
I'm so freaking proud of you. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Can you send me the information on how to get all of the things?
Yes, I'm gonna send you guys shirts for sure.
Yay.
It's at 33edge.com. And so there's like equality shirts and unity shirts.
I love that. So the fact that I'm 33 years old is a good thing.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Wow. I could be your mother.
That's really why it is called 33, and she made up the whole numerology thing. She just didn't want to tell you.
It was all for you, Katie. All for you.
Amazing. Good. Like, congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you. And I'm also writing a treatment. I finished a treatment and I'm getting it developed based on my life growing up in Hawaii and running in a pageant.
Wow.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So busy quarantine. And I'm baking tons of banana bread and growing sprouts and microgreens and herbs and making kombucha. I mean,
It's nice to have the time to, like, rediscover different creative outlets, because like we all have them. We just don't necessarily always have the time to explore them.
and I've also built up my tolerance for alcohol. I've done that quite a bit.
Yeah.
I knew it was bad the other day when I was like taking you guys saw me taking my vitamins earlier. I took a handful of vitamins with my margarita and I was like, this might not be right. I don't know about
It
this.
just means you're hardcore.
I
don't look
literally did
around.
not drink for 20 years, you guys. 20 years, no
Wow.
drinking. And then all of a sudden I realized, wait, I'm not allergic to alcohol. I'm just allergic to shitty alcohol. Because all through my 20s, I could only afford the shitty stuff. So
Right.
I was told we could swear.
Ben swore first. You're good.
That's right.
Right.
He ruined it for everybody. All right, we're coming out at the end here, so I want to give you all an opportunity to just send a message to the fans of the show and fans of the panel and just people who have stuck in from all over and whatever their situations are. So let's just go around the room and just whatever you want to say to anybody, promote something or whatever it is. Kelly, let's start with you.
Well, I kind of did all my promotion. I don't know
All right,
that
thanks.
if
Let's
I
go
can
to
shamelessly
Katrina.
plug anything else. But huge thank you to all the fans. Huge mahalo for everybody for all these years. I mean, I was on like episode 2, and it's been such a great ride. I feel like this is going to go on forever. I love it. Thank you guys so much.
Awesome. Juliana?
I just want to thank you guys so much for being the most incredible, loyal, loving fans. You have lifted us all up so much just by being you and showing your love and kindness for all of these years. And even though the show is over, it has not faded or diminished at all. And I get so excited. I know we all get so excited to come in and do events like this, where we can just spend time with you. And I hope that all of you guys are healthy and safe, and yes, please be safe outside and just protect yourselves. This is a crazy time, but just remember that we're all in it together and we're all with you. Katie, are you muted? I can't hear you.
We can't hear you, Katie.
No, we can't.
Yeah,
we can't hear you.
I thought she was mouthing something, like telling you what to say.
I
or
know, I
something.
thought I was supposed to.
Like
No?
coaching you.
There you
Yeah,
are.
now
There
we
you
can.
are.
Now we can.
There you are.
How long has that been going on?
Just
We don't
now?
know, but why don't you say goodbye before it goes again?
Okay, sorry. Yeah, Jules, everything you said. Thank you guys so much. You've been the most incredible, loyal fans. Obviously, we wouldn't be here without you. I hope that everybody, please, 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 please continue to wear masks and stay safe. We all want to, get through this together, and this more responsible and safe we are, the quicker it will pass. So please stay safe, and we just appreciate you and thank you and bless you. And yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Great stuff. Ben.
Yeah, everybody just keep taking care of yourselves. I mean, I feel like I'm such a late breaking part of the whole Arrow phenomenon, but the fans have always made me feel so embraced and never like an interloper. And I so appreciate all of you. I just continue to take care of yourselves. Be safe.
And last but certainly not least, the great Katrina.
Oh, wait, I just need to point out, somebody keep talking for a second, but look how sexy those ladies look with their mask on. They
Hello.
Oh,
Makes your eyes pop, honey.
What?
Katie, that's dope. Oh, that's so cute, God.
How cute are you?
This is what
Oh my God,
I've been
Katie.
doing during my quarantine. I've been making
You've been
masks.
making masks?
Because what else are you going to do? Because if you got to
that's
wear
so
a mask,
awesome.
you might as well look cute.
It's so cute. Katie, that is amazing.
Also,
I-
get caught in my top.
I can tell you, without masks, Mickey Dolenz will come up on Sunday. Then the Vampire Diaries universe, also the Nanny, Lego Masters are all coming up here at Wizard World Virtual next week. For Katrina Law, Kelly Hu, Juliana Harkavy, Ben Lewis, Katie Cassidy, I'm Seth Everett from the Hall of Justice podcast. Thank you so much for coming on to Wizard World Virtual. We will see you next time.
thank you.
Oh, and don't forget the personalized experiences. Go to wizardworldvirtual.com.
Yeah, you get
Katrina will dance for you.
I'll do that for you specifically.
Get a video with